Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fat Minute. I'm, of course, your host, the Count of Monte Cristo, Don John, and I'm joined tonight by my co-host, the Catcher in the Rye, BVJ.
I'm actually the Count of Monte Crispy.
Monte Crispy. What the fuck is Monte Crispy?
Well, it's when the Snap, Crackle, and Pop disband and they have to seek revenge.
Oh, that,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound fun at all.
Half the movie reviews on YouTube.
That doesn't sound
That,
fun at all.
that doesn't sound fun at all.
Well, tonight we're just kind of, after the past like month and a half of us frantically watching and talking about movies, decided to take a pump the brakes a little bit, just kind of take a chill night and just do just an intermission episode where we're just riffing, just talk about what we've been up to, how things are going. So, Blake, how you living?
I've been I've been fine, yesterday I took my mom to get her first COVID-19 vaccination.
How's she feeling?
Her arm's a little sore, but that's like to be expected with any vaccine.
Yeah.
And yeah, she got Pfizer,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, so yeah, she got one of one, and I will take her again in less than a month.
Nice.
Yep. So that was probably like the thing I did this weekend. What about you?
I worked this weekend. It was my weekend to work, so nothing too exciting happening here. Just been counting down, waiting for this week's episode. I got off work about 2.5 hours ago. But yeah, nothing too exciting going on this weekend here at the Donatorium.
Hmm.
Um, so, oh dear God, was that you?
Yeah, that's me. It's just,
Yeah?
yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's good. We're
Okay.
good. I just won't respond right now.
So, President Biden announced the other day, I'm sure you saw that all adults in America will be eligible to get a vaccine May 1st.
Yep,
Um,
May 1.
I mean, even before the inauguration, before Biden got sworn in, when they first started dishing out the vaccines, I was already predicting like I wasn't going to be able to get one until May or June at the earliest anyway. So as far as that announcement went, I was just kind of like, okay, cool, neat.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, it's just I'm still waiting on mine because I could have gone by now, but I'm just waiting for my number to come up. To
really?
anyone else, yeah, I mean, yeah, I would be eligible right now.
Are you sure? Because I thought in Maryland it was only 65 and older right now.
No, they're doing first of all, I don't want to get too specific about why I would be eligible because again, I want my employment to be not public fact on this
Right.
podcast. But yeah, for anyone listening, Donnie works at home and I do not work at home. So people who do not work at home are eligible right now, or at least like the kind of people like me who do not work at home.
Right. Like I figured you would be like considered an essential worker, but I didn't know they had already moved to that tier yet.
Yeah, I think so. So, but my my dad's like, well, just keep checking in, and I'm like, Dad, there's no checking in. I gave him my name and information stuff. I'm waiting on them. Okay, well, just don't let it get away from you. And I'm like, Dad, there's literally nothing for me to do right now. Okay, but I mean, just don't let it slip.
And then it's gonna be like 3 months from now, we're all gonna be vaccinated, and you're still gonna be sitting there like, when the fuck's my turn? And old Phil's is gonna be sitting there like, I told you what you should have done, son.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the strategy Joe Biden was doing, like at least for his first like 50 days in office, was to under promise and then over deliver. So yeah, I feel like that's what he was going for because he didn't want to hype up too much stuff too quickly. I feel like.
I'll tell you what kind of worries me though. I don't know if this is how they're getting all those vaccines like ready to go by May 1st or not, but I remember when he first took office, there was talks of him like making basically like taking vaccines that were meant to be second doses and then giving them to like the next tier of people for their first dose. And I'm like, that's a terrible idea. You shouldn't do that at all. Like, I
Um,
I would much rather have one fully vaccinated tier than two halfway vaccinated tiers, personally.
yeah. I feel like that would very much be not endorsed by the CDC or FDA.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's not a thing. I hadn't heard that one.
That was a thing that was going around. Like, I mean, even before Biden got sworn in, there was like even Dr. Fauci said that might be something that we should consider. And I was like, you must be on crack. That's a terrible idea. Um,
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
but I remember after Biden got sworn in, I was seeing it on like CNN and stuff about like there was talks of them doing that, and I was like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would preferably not, I suppose.
So since it seems like, hopefully by the end of this year we'll start returning back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
Like what do you miss the most? And like ignoring like the obvious answers, like seeing your family and your friends and stuff like that. What's like I guess, material guilty pleasure that you really miss that you
Yeah,
haven't been
fair
able to
enough,
do?
fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, it should go without saying, like, I want my mom to be able to pick up my daughter and hug her and me not be like, oh my God, like, Emma,
Right,
please don't cough. Like,
right.
but yeah, so I guess, yeah, as far as like materialistic, like, novelty, I mean, I don't miss going out to restaurants. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean, I don't miss um I don't miss being underwhelmed. I don't miss having to bite my tongue. First of all, for anyone listening in, I very much, made a point to be a good person when I went out to dinner. I wasn't a Karen, but it was still an internal struggle just having to deal with, like, oh, I ordered this but got that. Like, I'm still allowed to be disappointed. I'm still a human being.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so I didn't have to bother with being let down, or I didn't have to bother tipping, which, of course, even when I order takeout, I tip now. Like, I
Same.
mean, that's just, yeah, like y'all are having to work during all this nonsense. Like, yeah, here's at least 15%.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I don't miss hearing, the old bitches to the table next to me giving the waitress a hard time. Um, but I guess like the main thing would be probably going to the movies, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
though I feel like it didn't. I wasn't as upset about it when all this happened. I would like if this would have happened 10 years ago, yeah, I would have probably been like super upset and pissed off and throwing a fit.
Hmm.
Especially like, 2010, 20-year-old BVJ, like, no, I want to, I want to go see Predators, man. Like, I want to go see Toy Story 3, but no, I mean, like, I guess my way of looking at it was, well, shit, like, I have a kid. Like, I wouldn't have been going to the movies that many times anyway. Like,
Yeah.
even if they were open, like, because my daughter, she's not old enough to go to the movies yet. She's not even really old enough to watch a full movie from start to finish in one sitting right now.
Hmm.
I mean, like, she watches like an episode or two of Sesame Street and then she's done. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be super fun when she's able to go to the movies. Because, I mean, they make kids' movies that are like just as good, if not better, as the films intended for adults. But yeah, I guess like short answer, the cheap answer is going to the movies. But what would you say?
I miss Chinese buffets.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel
And
like so does Tate.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. I mean, considering every time I go to his comic shop, he ends up ordering a pizza and like eating like three-fourths of it by himself,
Well, I love that dude.
and then he usually complains about still being hungry like 10 minutes later.
I mean, I guess like I guess like I miss the social aspect of going. Like you're saying Chinese buffet. When I imagine Chinese buffet, I think of all of us together going as like a group of buddies. Like I miss the social aspect of going out to eat. But as far as like, oh man, I just really miss sitting in that Outback booth. Like I don't care. Like,
I mean, yeah, seeing your buddies is fun, and all, but no, I legit miss Chinese buffets.
okay, okay.
Like, I mean, especially the one here in Lavale, China Buffet, as I like to call it. Um,
Well, that's probably what half of LaVale calls it anyway.
exactly. But it's not like the greatest place in the world, but there's something special about it that I just really love. I love going in, paying $10, and having the roll back to my car. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, the sushi bars there is pretty great too. I'm not gonna lie.
Like I'm not gonna overhype it, but like I'm no snob. I'm no stuck up prick. Like I felt like whenever we went there and after we ate, when we went back to our car, I very much felt like it was a mission accomplished.
Yeah, and like everybody in town always says that like spreads rumors about them being like gross and dirty and nasty, and I'm like, I have eaten there more times than I should probably admit on the air, but like I've never gotten sick eating there once. So China Buffett, I love you, I miss you. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you soon.
Well, no, if anyone was shady, it was the one in the mall by
Oh
Walmart
my
that
God,
went
yeah.
out.
Oh my God, yeah. That one was sketchy. Which, I mean,
My
you couldn't really like you at first like because they were always so fucking rude in there, and
They
I
were. I'm sorry. Like they were rude.
yeah.
Um,
But
I mean, like,
after I like went into their bathroom one time, I understood why because there was some really fucking hateful graffiti on those bathroom stalls.
oh my God, yeah. No, I felt bad for him then. Um,
So it's like, yeah, if I had that kind of shit going on in my restaurant, I'd probably be pretty fucking hateful too.
the staff at like China Buffet, I always felt that they were mellow. They were whatever, you know.
Yeah.
No staff was nicer than the staff at Yamato. Like I especially the main madam. I guess like the owner of it. I feel like she is the owner. Um, no, I absolutely love her, and yeah, I mean that staff is my second family. I went there every week,
Yeah,
and
you did.
they knew what I wanted every time. Like I would get the same exact thing every single time. They wouldn't even give me a menu after a while. They didn't bother giving me a menu. And then one time my wife and I went there. It was like probably one of the last half dozen times we went there. And one of them, I was randomly like, I'm going to get something different. And we sat down and they start saying, oh, okay, we'll get you your. And my wife said, actually, he's getting something different today. And they went, no, he gets this. And like, they corrected her. And I love that. But, but no, man, the staff at the one in the mall, like they were grumpy. And
Well,
my mom,
did you hear what happened to them?
well, hold that thought. Let me just finish mine real quick. My
No.
mom oh, okay. My mom would take me there, and like she would be like, "Okay, just one buffet." I'm just sitting with them, and this was when I was in high school, and it was after school when I was hungry and stuff, and I just, like, I guess like with my dad working nights and and sleeping all day, and my mom kind of being on her own diet, like we just kind of did our own thing for dinner, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, if you're already hungry, you want to eat this early, like whatever,
Yeah.
fine." So she would take me there and be like, "Oh, just one buffet." I'm just sitting with them, and she would get a water, and they would like stand like just a couple booths away from us and give her the dirtiest looks ever. Like she was sneaking her like my plate into her bag. And it's just like, the hell is your problem? Like she's just sitting with me. It's my mom. Like she's the one paying the bill. But no, what happened, Donnie?
They just randomly like, cause I'm sure you remember like we came into the mall one day and like the place was just like empty and boarded up.
It was like
Um,
something out of a movie.
yeah, they like just pretty much stole a bunch of like people's credit card information that they had from their reader, I guess, and just like just vanished. My one coworker, because I was working at AT&T at the time, my one coworker there said his sisters like they had his sisters like bank info, and like her bank account got charged for a plane ticket to China.
God dang.
Yeah, they just bailed.
I mean, I guess that was their revenge for the hateful graffiti in their bathroom.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's terrible. I mean, as we've touched on multiple times during this podcast, please don't be racist. Um,
yeah.
but I mean, like, yeah, I
And if
mean
you and
that,
if you are, fuck you.
yeah, but that, yeah, that staff was probably like the least friendly
Yeah. I mean,
of
you
various
talked about
restaurants.
You talked about Yamato. I remember us eating there a lot. Um, and like my thing with Yamato, like the staff are super nice and super friendly there, and the food is good, but it is like not my favorite place at all. Like it's just kind it's I always hate using this word when describing a restaurant because it sounds so pretentious, but it's really boring there to me. Um, like it's just like I think it's just kind of like the middle ground for Chinese places. Um, like if we're talking like here's the Don John ranking of Asian places in the 21502 area.
Okay.
Um, top place, are buffets allowed to be in this list? We got some rules.
Yeah, man, like just do whatever you want. There's no judge and jury here.
I'm just saying we got to set some rules to this game, man.
Yes, buffets are included.
Okay, so number one place, Jin's. Jin's is the best Asian place in the area. The people there are just as friendly as as the workers at Yamato, in my opinion. Um, but the food is always really good. Like they never have a period where it's like, oh, you don't want to eat there at night, or like you don't want to eat there on this day. It's never like as good. No, they're always good. Their General Tso's is amazing. Like it's great. Jin's number one. Number two, Banana Leaf. I know Banana Leaf looks like a meth house from the outside, but trust me, it's amazing. Like you go in, it's super nice. People there are pretty friendly too. Food is good, but like they have a couple I always get the curry from there. Like the curry from Banana Leaf, fucking fill up on that, take a 5 hour nap. You will wake up feeling like the fucking Incredible Hulk. It's amazing. Number three, China Buffet. I mean, it's a Chinese buffet. You know what to expect when you're going in, but for $10, you could look like Jabba the Hutt. So what's there to complain about? After China Buffet, we got Yamato. It's good, but it's kind of bland. It's very run of the mill. It's basically like I feel like even though everybody in Yamato is like Asian, I feel like Yamato is actually run by white people who like have a basic understand of Asian cuisine. That's just my opinion. Um,
They just have a couple like non-Asian waiters or waitresses, but
yeah,
that's it.
and
But
then
I see, and although I don't agree with it, I see what you're trying to say, though.
yeah, like it just sort of lacks any sort of like anything that makes it like stand out as far as their
Mhm.
menu goes. And then bottom is Eastern Express. Eastern Express always fucks the order up. The food, the quality of the food is hit and miss. Eastern Express can expressly eat my cunt,
Jesus God.
and it's
Uh,
sad because Eastern Express used to be really good.
Eastern Express on Main Street in Frostburg.
Yeah, they used to be really good, but they not so much anymore.
I had them a lot in 2017, and I
Oh,
liked them a lot.
I remember you would come over like at least once a week, and we would get it and watch The Last Airbender all night.
Yeah,
Oh, those were good times.
I liked Eastern Express. I haven't had it since like 2018 probably, but I mean,
Yeah,
um,
it's not as good as what it used to be.
oh man, like yeah, eating some General Tso's chicken, watching The Last Airbender, like that was legit.
And
That was,
you would always order fries too, which is still baffling to me.
yeah, they had no j- uh
Or was it Jen's that had the fries?
Jins had the fries.
That's right.
They had crinkle cut fries, and I loved them.
And
Um,
you kept being like, dude, you need to order the fries. I'm like, Blake, I'm not. ordering fries from a fucking Chinese place. That's like ordering a burger from an Italian restaurant.
No, man, no, man, you missed out. Like they had like
No, I
this,
didn't because I had a couple, and I mean they were good, but they weren't anything special.
they salted them, but they had like
Oh
this,
wow, they added salt.
they had like this, they had like the same seasoning or whatever that they added to something else. It was a hint of it, like since they tossed them in the same bowl or pan or whatever. So like they tasted just a touch differently. Oh man, I love those. I love. I mean, man. There's nothing more American than a chili dog with some crinkle cut fries.
That you got from a Chinese place.
That is the American dream. That's the America that I want to live in again.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, yeah. But well, what else have you had going on lately?
Well, I mentioned in the last episode we did like this that I had a little bit of getting even to do. Um, and I have been getting even. I've been doing a lot of stuff around the house. Some home improvement. I painted the entire downstairs and upstairs hallway of my house, which was fucking exhausting, and I never want to do again. Um, like it was so funny because it's a job that it's something I wanted to do for a while, like ever since I first came into this house. Because my house is like it had like this white and gray color scheme throughout the whole house, like neutral colors. And like as soon as I came in here, I was like, I fucking hate this. Like we need some actual color going on in here. And I love the color purple. I mean, the color purple is such a huge part of my general aesthetic. I'm pretty sure I owe Whoopi Goldberg money. Um, so I painted it purple. And like when I bought the paint and the brushes and everything, I was all excited and ready to go. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And about an hour in, I was like, this is the worst fucking idea I've ever had. Why did I do this? It was fucking exhausting, and especially doing it by myself. But it got done, and I love the end result. Also got a new couch, which was desperately needed, and it's like the most comfortable couch in the world. Um, Planning on getting a new dining room table soon. Some other stuff. Gonna replace the dishwasher finally because I've been putting that off. And then I'm also planning on finally getting my motorcycle license and getting a motorcycle here. Now it's starting to warm up a bit, so I can't wait for that.
Good for you.
Yeah, I've been getting even.
Good for you. Um, this weekend I started shaving in the shower.
Cool.
Oh, man, I don't have much right now, so I'm giving you what I got. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, usually like I take my shower and then I get out of the shower and I do it over at the bathroom sink and I just turn in this whole ordeal, this whole ritual. And I was just like, man, I need to start saving time here because I'm adding like a whole other like 20, 30 minutes to my shower routine. So I got like a mirror that like suction cups on the wall in the shower and I shaved there. And I'm like, cuts my shaving time in half.
All right.
I mean,
Hey, that's good.
that's pretty good. Um, can we just have a whole podcast episode where I talk about shaving?
I mean, you could do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
Okay.
I
Oh,
might make fun of you, but I won't stop you.
no, that's fair. I was using I've used Pacific Shaving Company, Vanderhagen, and now I'm using like the Harry's brand products, and I'm fairly satisfied with everything I've used. Anything's better than Gillette. Gillette's garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Gillette, like their blades suck. Their shaving cream makes me like break out, and it irritates my skin really bad. Like fuck Gillette.
no, Gillette is like
The
if
Budweiser of shaving products.
no, I would say like if like you know those like disposable Bic razors.
Yeah.
Those are like that's like the McDonald's of shaving, but like Gillette is like the Olive Garden of shaving. You think it's like high end and classy, and then it's just corporate nonsense.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah. But no, Gillette. I mean, shoot, I used Gillette for a couple years, and like and I'm just talking about their gel, their foam gel or whatever. I
Hmm.
may as well just put toothpaste on my face. But what have you been watching lately?
Well, like everybody else, I watched WandaVision. Mainly because, like, I mean, I was planning on watching it anyway, but I didn't have Disney Plus when it first started, just because I didn't have it. Like my ex had her Disney Plus logged into my TV, and I immediately logged out of it when we broke up, of course, and I just never got around to getting my own account yet.
Yeah,
But then when WandaVision started, I was like, oh, all right, I better get on this just so I can avoid the spoilers and actually watch this shit.
yeah,
So I watched WandaVision. Other than that, I've been keeping up with The Simpsons like I do every week. I think The Simpsons. I mean, I don't know if I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but I know I've mentioned it to you in person that I feel like ever since Disney took over, The Simpsons has progressively started to get better. I feel like The Simpsons, like the most recent episodes, have kind of had like some like the tone and vibe of them and the humor of them have had like kind of like a hint of the golden era of the show.
yeah,
So it kind of has me like, oh, are they kind of like going back to that kind of stuff a little bit? And it kind of hit me. I think the reason for that, why that is because a lot of they probably have like a lot of new writers coming on the show now who are probably like our age and hence probably grew up on the golden era of the show, so their sense of humor is influenced by that.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think it's great.
I mean, I wonder if they'll do another season that's narrated.
Listen, it didn't
No,
happen. It
you
didn't happen.
listen. I know what I fucking heard.
No, you don't because it didn't happen.
Whatever.
Don't you fucking whatever me.
Whatever.
Fuck you.
Um, WandaVision was pretty good.
I liked it.
I I was a little underwhelmed with the finale.
Hmm.
But I mean, I thought the first eight episodes were pretty solid. Um, I liked like probably like one half of the finale. I mean,
Hmm.
I love the emotional chemistry and weight um between Wanda and Vision themselves. Like I thought um uh Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany were like terrific to the very end.
Hmm.
But I guess I was just a little underwhelmed with some twists and turns and maybe some backpedaling that occurred in the season finale that we discussed, the weekend it happened. So, I mean, it is what it is, but
I
yeah,
mean, with me, like, I mean, first and foremost, I love that this show really allowed Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda to like become more of her own character now, which is awesome. I'm all about that. Um, but like, I wasn't necessarily underwhelmed by the ending. I mean, it wasn't my favorite episode, but I was just like, I just took it for what it was. My thing is, people, I mean, we're, obviously spoilers, I guess.
yeah. I mean, we can't talk about it without really getting into spoilers, and also like it's been a couple weeks, so yeah, like let's just spoilers ahead.
Yeah, so if you don't want to if you haven't watched the ending of WandaVision yet, or you don't want anything spoiled for you, just skip the next like 10, 15 minutes.
If you
Um,
don't know what we're talking about, you're probably Amish.
but like the biggest gripe people had was that the Peter Evans Pietro Quicksilver wasn't from the X-Men universe. And to that I just got to, be like, so, sits down. You have a WandaVision theory that didn't come true. I mean, it's just like, cry about it, get over it. Um, and the only reason I say that is just because, one, first and foremost, I think the sooner everybody accepts that the MCU is never going to directly reference the Fox X-Men movies for multiple reasons, the better off everybody will be. I think the closest we're ever going to get to a direct reference to the Fox X-Men movies is when they bring Ryan Reynolds back as Deadpool. Because I don't know if you caught that, but like maybe a month or two ago, they confirmed that they are doing a Deadpool movie with Ryan Reynolds for the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the closest we're gonna get. But I guarantee you, I would bet money that that movie, like they're gonna act like he's not from the, he's just from the MCU, and like they're gonna make like any references to the Fox universe is gonna be like little quips and asides and jokes and stuff, nothing like direct. Um, I guess I just don't think the MCU is gonna directly reference the Fox X-Men movies for a number of reasons. I think if anything, the MCU is gonna introduce the Fantastic Four way before the X-Men, personally. Again, for multiple reasons. But as far as Peter Evans, Pietro not being from the alternate universe or whatever, I'm just like, would it have been cool if that were the case? Sure, but there was nothing to necessarily hint at that being the case. Even like the day after that first episode he was in premiered, the showrunner or director or whatever in an interview straight up said we did it as a gag. We thought fans would get a kick out of it and stuff like that. There was nothing to ever mention that that was going to be a thing.
Other than
And
the fact that he was there, like,
okay, that's
but
not that's not good enough. I'm sorry. Like,
that's like that's.
okay, so they put J.K. Simmons in Far From Home as J. Jonah Jameson. Are people upset that he's not from the Tobey Maguire movies? No, they're not. So just Peter Evans just being there, that's not good enough. I'm sorry. Uh,
But what else would that have implied, though?
It's called an Easter egg. It's called a gag. It's called an homage. There was nothing to say there's a multiverse and he's part of it.
I mean, like when I would think of an Easter egg, I would think of like
Maybe
an
Easter egg's
object,
not maybe Easter egg's not the right word, but you know what I'm
an
getting at.
object in the background or something. But I mean, like there was like a sense of like there's a sense of mystery and wonder to him being there at all. Like Kat Dennings being like she recast Pietro and like who how did you get here and what was the last thing you remembered and why do you look different? Like they were playing around with the fact that like he was there, and the thing is like you couldn't have placed him there and act surprised that he would have triggered like reactions to that though. I mean that's just it's not just about a theory or a tease. I mean, this is like reaching your hand out to pick up somebody, you pick them up a little bit, and then you push them back down in the dirt. And
You see, when they started doing that stuff, they were like, why do you look different? Why do you sound different? Did she recast Pietro? I didn't immediately jump to the conclusion of, oh, multiverse. He's from the X-Men movies. I was because even before that, it was like hinting at like this whole like little world that Wanda created was created out of like her grief and like her powers are out of control or whatever. That's kind of what they were hinting at in those first couple episodes. I felt like so I jumped to the conclusion of, oh, he's another citizen and she just like gave him a false identity, like
I mean,
subconsciously out of her grief.
and see, like I would have even totally bought into that. Like I would have. I mean, I would have been satisfied with that though. Like it was. I'm gonna really try to not talk about this without getting heated or flustered, but I mean, when you get like the same actor to play the same character and to have a sense of astonishment, a sense of bewilderedness to their appearance, their arrival, their existence. It's just like I mean, I think like the showrunners are kind of being a bit of a dick for being like, well, what'd you expect? Man, like I kind of expected like what it looked like on the surface, but then when you scratch the surface and you go into it, it's just so much less. It'd be one thing if it was something else, something more, something darker even, or maybe something I don't know, just some alternative to what you thought, but it was just like I mean, let's just jump to they did like the Mandarin twist again, and it was not even just a twist. Like they did like the Mandarin joke, where it wasn't just that it was a fake. It was a fake out. It was a psych. It was a you thought. It was also like he was a failed actor, and he had a headshot, and she. I mean, this like. I wish you could have heard Trevor and I breaking this scene down to each other, because even the whole scene is stupid. Because she's like, I mean, they do a dick joke. He's Richard Boner,
Yeah.
um, and or Ralph Boner. Richard Boner would have actually been funnier, because then his name would have literally
Dick,
been
yeah, Dick
Dick
Boner.
Boner.
It's like
But
that. That's like that one time. I guess sidetracking a little bit when I
yeah, yeah,
when I filled out a application when we were working at AT&T together. When I filled out an application as Richard B. Oot,
yeah,
Dick Butt.
yeah. I mean, so here I'm taking notes down, because I really don't want to fucking flub this. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, so she's Rambo.
Hmm.
Rambo's like just going. She's being held captive in his attic while Agatha, does her, like you're a witch, and Wanda's like, no, I'm not, and it's like, well, you do magic, you kind of are. You're arguing the wrong point here, Wanda. But so Rambo's like going through his mail, and he's just like letting her go through his mail. Like, dude, like, why aren't you like smacking the mail out of her hand or whatever, tying her up, or being like, you need to, just sit in that corner and not move. So
I think you're nitpicking a little bit, but
she's
okay.
going, but so I mean, like she wasn't even allowed to look in Agatha's like cellar and he captures her, but then she's just allowed to wander around his room and look at whatever she wants, and he's just like preoccupied watching a Steven Seagal movie or whatever on the TV. Like it was just inconsistent. Not even a nitpick. It's just inconsistent. So
No, that I think that's reaching a little much personally.
she's going through his shit, and he's just letting her do it. And then there's just an ever so convenient headshot of just his face and his name, because because the viewers had to be treated like they were idiots in that moment. Like she couldn't have been his driver's license or whatever. It's just like, your name's Ralph Boner, and I'm just like, was that really where this landed? Like that's all this went to? Like I would have been absolutely fine with there being some more emotional fucked up thing behind Wanda's grief or whatever, but it was like she just hijacks a failed actor, just kind of like how the Mandarin was a failed actor. And I felt like that was just so they can use a headshot, just so they could be like, oh, here's like the definition of plot convenience, his picture on a big piece of paper with his name. I mean, and as far as theories, like, I mean, you and I both know that like fan theories are a huge fucking problem in fandoms. I mean, like The Last Jedi had to deal with that horse shit. I
Yep.
mean, just like how like, oh yeah, man, I think Snoke's gonna be Mace Windu. Like,
Fuck off.
what the hell are you talking about? Like,
Fuck off.
Snoke is white. Like, also, like, how does that even work? Like, so Mace Windu gets electrocuted and thrown several floors up, several blocks over, and so he survives that fall, and then he's just randomly evil 30 years later. Like,
Yeah.
where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like, fan theories are a problem, and it's it's annoying when a bunch of people are like, you didn't give me that thing that you never promised me. Um, but I just felt like this was like in a different category. This was in a different sector, if you will. Like I just felt like they didn't just tease some stuff. Like they literally, like they truly played around with an implication, with like you just have to know what people are gonna start to think, and then you want to do the thing where it's like, well, we got to zig when you think we're gonna zag, but I don't know. I just it wasn't that they didn't fulfill like a very specific and particular wish list that I had written down in my head. Like that's what I had to get over with Man of Steel, that it didn't turn out to be like this perfect Superman movie that I had spent 10, 15 years dreaming up in my head. Like it is what it is, but I don't know. I just feel like the finale could have been smarter in a way, outside of like Wanda and Vision saying farewell. I mean, I don't want to ramble. I don't want to rant and go off the rails, but yeah, without getting too salty or sour, that's just kind of where I landed.
Well, here's my sour and salty rebuttal. Um, so yes, the boner joke was fucking stupid. It's like we're not 12.
Well,
Um,
it's also like it's Disney Plus, and like Marvel's taken pride in the fact that they're not like, you know, I just felt like that was just so that shouldn't have been them. Like Marvel shouldn't make boner jokes. That's weird to me.
I mean, it was just a lame joke in general. Um, but again, when they first showed Evan Peters, my first conclusion was, oh, Wanda quote unquote recasted him just out of like some unconscious like subconscious grief, like she's done everything else. And then as the story progressed and we realized like how everything was really working, I was like, oh, Agatha hijacked some dude to fuck with Wanda. Now, again, like, because I was okay with that. Like, I was okay with that, being the case. Agatha just hijacking some dude to fuck with Wanda and keep tabs on her and stuff. Now, again, because this is ultimately what it comes to with me. Would it have been cool if Evan Peters if his Quicksilver was from the X-Men universe, if it had opened up the multiverse? Yeah, that would have been cool.
Hmm.
But is the fact that that is not what was the case automatically make the actual result bad? No. The fake Quicksilver being, a construct of Agatha to keep tabs on Wanda, it works for the story that we are presented. It works within the context of the story that we are given. So while it may not be something that would be cool, that doesn't automatically make it bad. And then furthermore, I mean, you mentioned how it feels different because they got the same actor and so on and so forth. My rebuttal to that is, with the upcoming Spider-Man 3, when they've announced that they got Alfred Molina coming back as Doc Ock, and they've announced that they got, excuse me, Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro. There's
Hmm.
all these rumors going around that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to come back, and it's going to be like this movie of the multiverse and multiple Spider-Man and stuff like that. Um, and my thing is, you and I have both made fun of people who are spreading these rumors and are wholeheartedly believing them because we're just like, nobody has said that this is the case. If anything, even Tom Holland has come out and said that that's not the case. Now, granted, I'm totally willing to believe that Tom Holland is either is lying because he's known for spoiling shit, and I would totally be willing to believe that Marvel cracked down on him for that shit this time around. But the point being, there's been nothing other than these two, actors who played previous Spider-Man villains coming back to play the same Spider-Man villains. Like nothing has been said or given to support the idea that this movie is going to be like the multiverse of Spider Verse or whatever. And you and I have made fun of people for believing that and just jumping to that conclusion, and how those people are probably going to get super pissed if that is not what the movie ends up being. So to me, it's the same thing. Like, if you're gonna make fun of one, you got to make fun of the other. Um, because in my opinion, there was nothing here to suggest that Peter Evans was from um, the Fox X-Men movies, in my opinion. Um, and I would also forgive this a little bit more than the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, because in Iron Man 3 it really was like they really pulled the rug out from under you with that. Like he's like um, the Mandarin being like a failed actor and everything, whereas with
Well,
this,
with this, like they had to. There was a sense of mystery. There was a sense to there's something else going on here. Like even though like yeah, it's goofier, or it's you may be underwhelmed by it. There is something else going on. Like with the Mandarin, like they had this like rad like fucking Marvel Comics version of Osama bin Laden wreaking havoc, and then he's a joke. Like
right. And it's also, again, like that was my next point. Is like with the Mandarin, they build him up like he's the main villain of the whole movie, and it turns out he's not. Like they just they not only pull the rug out from under you, they push you down the stairs. Whereas with Quicksilver, with Quicksilver and WandaVision, he's not built up as the main villain, you know. He's not even built up as a villain. So I feel like it's a more acceptable plot twist of like, oh, he's actually on Agatha's side.
I feel like I feel like love, hate, or anywhere in between or around or outside, like I feel like the Quicksilver twist, if you want to call it that here, um, is and first of all, it's weird calling it a twist because when I think of twist, I want to think of like it was something like crazy or whatever. Like they kind of did like a backwards twist where it was just something much smaller, and I feel like that may have been what makes it sting is that it's something smaller and just oh no, it's something more simple and contained here. um and I feel like it's one of those things that will have to be not reconsidered but observed again, like after a passage of time. Like right now, like it's still a little too fresh. I feel like, you know, it would have to be, it would almost have to be revisited in a few years, maybe. Um, and keep in mind, like, there were a lot of people who complained about the first two episodes.
Oh my
And they're
God,
like,
yeah.
and I was never one of those people. Like, I dug the first two episodes.
Yeah,
It
like
was just like,
by the time I watched the show, I think it was like 3 episodes in, and like I watched those first 2 episodes, I'm like, wow, people really don't want to give anything a chance to like build and grow anymore.
well, that's also just because like the model of binging has broken people's brains.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there we live in a world where like basically, people watched, an entire season of Stranger Things in one day.
hmm,
And they did not like the concept of, okay, you're not going to get the full story for 9 weeks.
right,
Um, but but yeah, like the first two episodes, like it's all about build up. It's all about like Tate said, laying the groundwork or just, establishing, a just establishing the world or, a would be world, I guess. I don't know. The point is like it was a mystery. The show was a mystery, and yeah, you're not gonna get all the answers, let alone half the answers in the first two half hours.
right,
That was just really stupid
hmm,
and entitled, frankly.
hmm,
Um, so keep in mind, I was one of the people that were, I had no issue with the first two episodes. I liked them. I was on board. I approved. I supported them. And if anything, that made the finale like, I guess, more of a dud. Was it went from this like emotional, mystery, like, what's going to happen next? What's the next step? Who done it almost? And then it goes from this building and developing and studying to just a CGI battle. And for me, that was just I don't know. And I guess like the saga, the season, I guess if it is going to be more than just one season, it's not just a limited series. It tried to have its cake and eat it too, in a way. It tried to appeal to everybody, like, oh, it's got story and it's got action and fighting. But I don't know. I feel like the ninth episode was kind of like it almost felt like it was in a different show as the first two episodes in a weird way. And I
yeah.
know that sounds kind of like I'm missing the point of how the show progressed, but it just ended with my red lasers have to defeat your purple lasers, and I didn't dig that.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like the finale was the strongest episode. It definitely wasn't by any means. Um, I just have a gripe with people and the whole. Not even the fact that they are upset that Quicksilver isn't from the X-Men universe, just that they it's the more of the idea of if it's not what I want, it's automatically bad. Like I personally prefer to take what I'm given at face value and analyze it from that point of view than to speculate on what could have been. I just feel like it saves a lot of energy that way.
So, what would you say your estimated timeline would be for mutants to appear in the MCU?
Not for at least a few more years. Maybe not even until Phase 5 at least. I feel like they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four before the X-Men. Reason being,
That a Fantastic Four movie is actually announced with a director.
oh, is it? I haven't been following it because
Oh yeah.
I don't really care about the Fantastic Four personally, but
Yeah, no, I mean like yeah, like that one director who I think doesn't exist is going to do it.
oh, okay. Um,
Which is weird though. It's just like okay, it's like oh, all right, you're gonna finish the Spider-Man trilogy. Here's the Fantastic Four. It's like wow, that guy must be really good at saying yes to Kevin Feige.
no, that actually makes a lot of sense because when I look at the Homecoming and Far From Home movies and kind of see the tone of those Spider-Man movies, because Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, at least like in the early years of Marvel, had a lot of like similar tones and vibes to them, so that makes a lot of sense personally. Um,
Hmm.
but anyway, like I feel like it's gonna be a while before we get the X-Men in the MCU because you got to think like New Mutants just came out like not even a year ago,
Right.
and I mean it's the fact that the Fox X-Men movies just ended. They're still very fresh in everybody's mind. So it's kind of a idea of like no matter what they do, it's going to be like held under such a large microscope in comparison to what came before from Fox.
Hmm.
And I feel like Marvel's just kind of like one, we don't even want to do that because no matter what we do, we're going to let everybody down to some degree.
Yeah.
And two, again, it's just so fresh in everybody's mind. It's like people might just be tired of seeing the X Men. So it's like, let's give everybody a break from the X Men. We'll
Yeah.
bring in the Fantastic Four, who haven't had, a movie in like, what, 5 years and haven't had a acceptable movie in even longer.
Yeah.
We'll bring in the Fantastic Four, especially since the Fantastic Four is like the original Marvel title as far as the comics go. Um,
For superhero family too.
Right. I mean, I know Captain America and Submariner came before them, but that was before they were called Marvel. Um, so Marvel basically kind of like, that would be kind of like a homecoming for Marvel, like be like, okay, we're finally making our own Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do that, and then I feel like once they get that running, I feel like at least Phase 5 before we see the X-Men, maybe even longer. Um,
They're probably still trying to figure out how to actually introduce the existence of mutants in that world.
I don't feel like that's too difficult considering the X-Men for so long had a thing of like they would remain hidden from the general society, so you could just be like they've just been in hiding this whole time. Um,
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think that would be too difficult of a thing to do personally. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be quite a while before we see the X-Men in the MCU.
I mean, if anything, it probably works out in Marvel Studios' favor that with Dark Phoenix, the Fox X-Men universe totally went out with a whimper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
Well,
they
I
did
think I
not.
think I think that's another reason why too, because it's a weird like it's a weird catch 22 because on the one hand they're going to be under held under such scrutiny. People like, well, that Wolverine wasn't as good as Hugh Jackman, or that Professor X wasn't as good as Patrick Stewart, or that Magneto wasn't as good as Ian McKellen. There's going to be a lot of that going on, but at the same time, like you said, it went out with a whimper with like Dark Phoenix and stuff like that. That
Yeah,
there's not a lot of hype for X-Men right now, like whether it be movies, comics, what have you. Like the X-Men have been struggling for a while in all media, unfortunately.
I mean, I feel like whenever it does actually happen, um, I think the hype will be there when it like
Absolutely.
exists, when it's real. Like
Absolutely.
when people finally see like that there's an X-Men movie coming out that has like the Marvel Studios logo above it, like I feel like the excitement will be like immediate almost.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, that was just, I mean, that was just, that was just some stuff about WandaVision that I wanted to get off my chest. Um, I mean, like, I mean, shit, I'm not gonna go on Twitter and like, verbally harass Elizabeth Olsen the way people did Kelly Marie Tran. Um,
Yeah. Oh, that poor girl.
uh, no, I mean, we'll have to do a sequel trilogy episode eventually, but I am very much on the team of reconsidering the Last Jedi, um, which I know you loved it since night one,
Hmm.
but I mean, like, I don't think I was that rare of a breed. There were a lot of people that weren't that chill with it, but and then there are a lot of people that like it as time goes on. I definitely like the idea of that movie more and more as time goes on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but
What's the next MCU thing that's coming out? Is
I mean, well, the Falcon and Winter Soldier,
okay.
which like again, I'm not trying to be like a negative Nelson or whatever, but like that show just looks basic. Like it doesn't look bad at all, but it just looks basic.
Yeah, I don't expect anything groundbreaking to come from that show, but I think it will be a fun show.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I was talking with Jake about it, and he goes, I'm not gonna wake up at 6 a.m. every Friday morning like I did with WandaVision. And I'm like, he goes to avoid spoilers, and I go, honestly, like this may sound stupid, but I, the Falcon and Winter Soldier looks like it's not gonna be that spoilery
Yeah.
as WandaVision, because WandaVision, like, I mean, from the very concept of the show, from the pitch of it, it was a mystery of a
Yeah.
show. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is going to be about espionage, but you're not going to be able to generate all the rumors of like parallel dimensions and shit from it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
then
then Loki, the Loki show is
which
this
that
summer.
that, that show looks cool.
I think that actually really does look
And I
cool.
love that in the trailer they had the bit where he's you see it near the end of the trailer where he's wearing like the campaign button with his name on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I love that they're doing that from the comics.
yeah. I think it's funny that Owen Wilson's in it.
Yeah.
No, I'll totally watch that. I'll watch that. I'm still not sold on like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know if I get around to it maybe, but like I totally want to see where the Loki show goes. It's weird because they can do bizarre stuff with it, but then I also feel like they're not shackled to continuity because it takes place in the failed, fumbled 2012 timeline
Yeah. And
from
then
Endgame.
and
Um,
then I'm looking forward to What If.
oh, What If's gonna be cool for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I always loved the What If comics just because, like, kind of like what you said with Loki, they can have like all kinds of fun and not be shackled by continuity.
I mean, those are the comics that I always liked more anyway, like the standalone, like separate Elseworld comic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what The Dark Knight Returns is. I mean, that's what All Star Superman is, and All Star Superman's my favorite comic, so
And then,
favorite graphic novel.
like I'm not sure the order of when everything's supposed to come out. I know at some point right now it's scheduled to come out in May, the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that'll be cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
like Florence Pugh, David Harbour's in it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have no reason to not see it other than like, if I'm busy with family stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it would feel at this point, I've seen every single MCU movie in theaters. So at this point, it would feel weird to not see it.
Yeah.
So,
I just know I'm excited for this Christmas motherfucking Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Like
Yeah.
even if it's not Spider-Verse, I'm just excited. Like
I mean, like, it's just it's weird. It's because like you brought up earlier, it's one thing to have J.K. Simmons as JJ again, but to get Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx, like you can't help but raise one of your eyebrows to that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
And then I mean there's of course rumors floating around that Tom Holland's gonna appear in the next Venom movie,
yeah,
which would
yeah.
be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing Woody Harrelson in that shitty wig again.
Oh goddamn! I still need to see Venom 1, but then at the same time, I feel like I don't.
It's honestly decent. Like it's as formulaic as a and predictable as a movie as you can get.
Yeah,
But considering what they were like the way they were shackled with, not being able to reference Spider-Man or the MCU or any of that, they still managed to do the character justice fairly well. I mean, it's very obvious that everybody involved with this movie loves the character more than fucking Sam Raimi ever did. Um,
yeah.
like you could tell Tom Holland had a fucking blast doing this movie, and Woody Harrelson as Carnage, I'm like, all right, I'm about that life. The wig might be shitty, but I can get behind it still.
I mean, like, yeah, when I saw that he was Cletus Cassidy, I'm like, okay, that's pretty legit, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And yeah, like Tom Hardy, like, I mean, he just looks like shit that whole movie.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, like I
but
said, this movie did Venom way more justice than Spider-Man 3 did. I mean,
oh,
especially with having Eddie and the Venom symbiote actually like two separate entities and communicating with each other.
yeah,
That
I
was pretty
mean,
great.
you gotta admit though, those trailers were terrible. Because like the first trailer to Venom felt like it came out in
Well,
2005.
the first trailer barely gave you like a glimpse of him.
Yeah. And then they finally had that second trailer where it actually shows him, and it's like, okay, he actually looks like Venom.
Yeah. Like
Um,
he's missing the giant spider logo on his chest, but it's still like, you know what? I'll allow it.
yeah, yeah. And no, man, like 3 years of my life on Twitter have all come to this week. This Thursday, we finally get the Snyder cut. Okay, let's be honest here. I finally get the Snyder cut.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
anybody is as excited for that as you are.
oh man, I mean, like, here's what I gotta say. At least I am loyal and supportive to a specific artist. Like, I found a director that I really dig, even though I don't always agree with him. And I'm just like, man, I like his style and I like his aesthetic. But I mean, like, I'm trying to keep myself under control right now because we will eventually have a Zack Snyder episode. But to anyone listening, like, yo, like, I may have gone back and forth. I may have had my doubts. I may have been a denier, but I fucking love Zack Snyder, man. Like, oh, man, I loved him ever since Watchmen. Like, I wasn't that into 300. 300 in its day, like in its prime, its peak, like 300 was like the ultimate dude bro movie.
Oh my god,
Um,
yeah.
and then
Fucking everybody who walked out of that movie theater when that was in theaters was wearing tap out clothing.
yeah, and
They probably went home and watched MMA and beat off.
but then finally revisiting it like a decade after that, like it is an entertaining, it is a cool looking movie, like that can't be denied, like it's a cool looking movie. But and then his remake of Dawn of the Dead is actually pretty solid. I mean, it's what introduced fast zombies, but I'm just not into the whole zombie genre, to be honest with you. And I
Yeah.
say this because he has another zombie movie coming out this May that I'll totally watch. Because I mean, like, dude, like I will watch that dude direct a Bob Ross biopic. Like, oh man. So, but no, like, and the embargo is starting to lift right now. Like, first fans and like it's not even just rando like accounts on Twitter. Like check marks, verified accounts have gotten to watch it, and apparently they were pretty satisfied with the Snyder cut. Like they enjoyed it. They said no, it was solid. It was rad. Like it was cool.
I
Um,
mean, I didn't even watch the theatrical Justice League movie, so
so you didn't miss out at all. Um,
that's the feeling I got.
I mean, like,
But now I have to, since we're gonna do the Zack Snyder episode soon. I have to watch it.
you're gonna watch the theatrical edition?
I might as well, just so I can compare it to the Snyder cut.
Well, that's true too. But I mean, like, I feel like it was counterintuitive because in the trailer that just came out today for the Snyder Cut, you hear you hear like Superman deliver a line that's like, "I've been given a second chance. I can't waste it." Whereas in the theatrical cut of the Justice League, he's straight up like, "You should have let me stay dead. I liked being dead more."
Which
It's like,
the fact that Superman, the most optimistic glass half full superhero of all time, was like, I wanted to stay dead. Like the fact that that is like a mentality he has is the funniest fucking shit to me.
yeah, man. And apparently this one is like the Snyder Cut. It's actually funny. Like it has more humor and heart than his other films have. And I'm just like, well, Darkseid's in it. Darkseid travels through things called boom tubes,
Yeah,
and he has a henchman who is named
granny goodness.
Granny Goodness. I'm sorry, you can't make a movie with that guy in it and not have a little humor. You can't straight face 4 hours of that. Like,
Yeah,
Granny Goodness is coming through the boob tube to get the mother box. That's the MacGuffin. That's like the plot device they have to collect, or the mother boxes. Like, yeah, you can't straight face 4 hours of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna calm myself down right now because I know we're gonna do an episode after Easter. I'm very excited. So hopefully, hopefully the Sunday after Easter, I'm not like they fucking did it to me again. I trusted them, and they fucking did it again.
Oh, that's funny. Um,
Hey, hey, all I can say is final thought for the evening. Let people be excited for what they want to be excited for. Don't be a dick. Nothing is more prickish, and I'm not saying you, Donnie, but nothing
I was
is
about
more
to say, what did I do?
no. I'm just, well, no, but other people. I'm just saying nothing is more assholish than putting down people for being excited about art and entertainment. Let people be excited for what they want to be excited about.
Yeah. Um, when's the Robert Pattinson Batman movie come out?
1 year from now.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking awesome.
That trailer, when he beats up
Oh
that
my
goon,
god, fucking Old Testament Batman.
I mean, like, you hear that dude's elbow crack in half.
Yeah,
Like,
those punches start getting squishy after a certain point.
and that's my thing. It's like Batman doesn't kill, and then they're like, oh, the Robert Pattinson Batman looks awesome. I hate to break it to you, but in a realistic
Batman's
world,
dead.
that guy probably fucking died. Like,
Yeah.
you don't you, you don't make the sound of someone like pounding juicy meat with eggs, cracking eggs. Like, you don't make that sound and have that guy walk away the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
that
they
dude died.
and they got the perfect dude to play the Riddler too.
Oh my god, like when they said when they said that little creepy 10-year-old mentality fuck from prisoners was gonna
Yeah.
be the Riddler, I
You
was
and I
like,
immediately texted each other and we're like, "Holy fuck."
yeah. Like, no, they nailed it. They
Yeah.
nailed it. After so many years of the uninspired, like, oh man, Johnny Depp should be the Riddler, like, stop.
I
Like,
mean, let's be real though. Like mid late 2000s, Johnny Depp as Riddler would have been legit.
I mean, that would have made $1 billion easily.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, as far as right now, this year, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no, that Paul Dano playing the Riddler, like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And it's like it's so awesome, you know. I just had a Spider-Man movie with Mysterio in it that ended up being awesome. And now I get to have a Batman movie with the Riddler in it that's probably going to be awesome. It's a good time to be alive.
And both actors were in Prisoners.
Yeah.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal and Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daddies. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal, maybe not Paul Dano.
Yeah, you have to be the only soul on this planet on God's green and blue earth that would refer to Paul Dano as daddy.
I re-
Did you ever see Swiss Army Man?
no.
Okay. I mean, it's about a dead body that still has gas escaping from it so he can turn it into a jet ski.
How far Harry Potter has come. That's a spell they don't teach you at Hogwarts.
That, I mean, hey, if anything, the movie Swiss Army Man is proof that, Warner Brothers isn't very good with paying their actors novelties. I mean, a few years after the Deathly Hallows Part Two, and he had to be on a farting jet ski flesh human, like whatever. Oh shit!
Speaking of Harry Potter, I wonder if we haven't heard any news about the next installment of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I wonder if J.K. Rowling's still hiding in her cave somewhere.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not keeping a ear open for any news on that movie anyway. It's just like I was tolerant of the first movie, but with the second movie, like I went to the bathroom. I was gone for 5 minutes, and this was maybe one third into the no, hmm, probably halfway through the movie. I had to go to the bathroom, and I was gone for 5 minutes. I came back. I didn't know what the fuck was going on for the rest of the movie. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I thought the first movie was fun. I thought the second movie, in a lot of ways, like um, as far as like tone and direction was better, but like in a lot of other ways, it was worse. It was really weird with the second movie.
For me, like the second movie was man, it was Attack of the Clones for the Wizarding world, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, I agree with you. Like Benedict Cumberbatch should have been young Albus Dumbledore,
Yeah,
but if he couldn't have done it, I thought Jude Law was an okay pick.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, did they have young Professor McGonagall in it?
they did, which that was one of my problems with the movies because it makes no sense because McGonagall was like not alive during this time, or like J.K. Rowling retconned a lot of her own shit in this movie, which was kind of frustrating.
And she does the screenplays for him.
Yep,
There's no fucking excuse if the author is doing the screenplay.
she retconned a lot of stuff.
How do you retcon books like it's one thing to retcon comics, but I mean like how do you retcon novels that are so iconic? Like
Yeah.
what are you gonna like go back and make new chapters? Like oh man. I'm getting fucking flustered again. Oh J.K. Rowling. What a dick.
Yeah, I do love that announcement the other day that Harry Potter game coming to like PS5 and everything is going to allow you to be a transgender student.
Oh my god, yeah, just
That's
to fuck
awesome.
with her. Just to fuck with her.
Yeah,
Yeah, well she can share more of that hateful t-shirt website.
yeah.
Jesus God. It promotes genocide against lesbians. What
What
are
the
you
fuck?
talking about? Oh, J.K. Rowling. When in doubt, just double down, and then when in doubt again, just triple down.
Woof.
Yeah, woof. God. Mm. Well,
It has been a fat minute.
yes, it has.
Got anything
But it
else
was
you
a
want?
good minute.
What's that?
It was a good minute, though.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to stop and smell the roses, you know?
I mean, we almost got into a screaming fight over Quicksilver, but I think we detonated or no, not detonated. We defused the
Diffused.
bomb. We defused the
We
bomb.
detonated the bomb.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. I mean, for me, I just have the Snyder Cut going on. I mean, outside of work, obviously. I just have the Snyder Cut going on this week. What about you? What are you hoping to get into this week?
Uh, I got a little bit of getting even to do.
You got to stop using that phrase before he comes for you.
Yeah, like he did to the all the parody accounts on Twitter. You remember that shit?
Oh, jeez. I just love the interaction between you and Trevor. Have you seen the private messages he's been sending out? And Trevor goes, well, no, I can't. They're private.
Fucker.
But yeah, no, he was sending people the knife emoji.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
like over and over and over again.
I mean, I guess double jeopardy is a good thing so that, like, a corrupt precinct can't keep harassing the same innocent person over and over again. But by the same token, like, it just sucks how like OJ Simpson can go to the middle of Times Square with a megaphone and admit to it all, confess to everything, and nothing can happen to him.
Yep.
I mean, he'll probably get beat the shit up, but
But
oh man. So,
now for the next week, tomorrow since I'm off, I'm gonna go on a hike with my dog in the morning. Um, then I got work going on. Um, I don't really have any movies or TV shows to plan to watch. I've been replaying Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I might do that some
yeah.
point this week. But no, other than that, just gonna keep the status quo going. Just gonna hang out, chill out, work, and keep doing my current home improvement.
Good for you.
Well, thank you, Daddy.
Well, on that note,
I meant like as in father, not like leather daddy.
okay. Moving right past that. Oh,
I'm sorry.
shit.
I've been drinking during the podcast tonight, so
I've been drinking surfboard.
what?
Nothing. The beehive will get it. Oh shit. All right. I'm BVJ. You can find me online at Puka Saucy.
I'm Don John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Don John Laughs. If you missed this episode or tuned in a little late, we'll be uploading to Spotify, Pandora, Google, Apple Podcasts, all the fun stuff tomorrow. So next week, we're going to be playing Cards Against Humanity live here on the Fat Minute. So that's going to be interesting. So definitely don't miss that. So on that note, thank you, fuck you, goodbye.